Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2017 Convocation Red Carpet Preview. I am Calista Robledo, an incoming junior at Weslaco High School.
And I am Mario Zavala, an incoming senior at Weslaco East High School. This year, we're getting the fun started right away as we are here in the PAC, where we will be visiting with some of our guests here today.
But first, let's discuss the theme of today's convocation. WISD is lit for literacy, and Dr. Canales, our superintendent, chose a literacy theme because literacy is the foundation of everything we do here at WISD, because strong reading and writing skills are the foundation in everything you do, including math, science, history, communications, and so much more. Right now, we have a guest. Good morning, ma'am. What is your name and your position with the school district?
Good morning. My name is Priscilla Canales, and I am the proud superintendent of Weslaco ISD.
Oh, that's you?
It's me.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you.
So tell us a little bit about the literacy theme for today's convocation.
Well, when we think about life and success, and we think about the power of reading and writing, not just now, but through the ages, from the ages, for the ages, it just makes sense. And our committees, our teams, our principals, our directors together came up with what's really important for success in life, and that is literacy.
You're absolutely right. So we know you're an avid reader. What are some of your favorite books?
I have lots of favorite books. One of the ones that I'm reading right now is Stephen Hawking's A Brief History in Time. So I read something science, something that's not fiction. Then, of course, I'm also reading Where the Heart Is. It was one of Oprah's book clubs. So I read a variety of things, lots of magazines, lots of articles, and of course, with technology now, lots of things on the iPhone.
Of course. So, Dr. Canales, since this is you're starting your first complete school year with the district, what is it you're most excited about?
Just the energy and the pride that exists, not only in Weslaco ISD, but our entire community. Our kids are awesome. Just watching them on the fields, on the courts. Yesterday, during the practice for the convocation, they just energize, they inspire us. So I'm excited just to be here. It feels like home.
Thank you, Dr. Canales. We look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you.
There will be a lot of awesome performances today, including the Central Middle School Puma Theater Company, the Weslaco East Choir, and quite a few other surprises. Let's send it back over to Mario.
Let's bring in another guest we have here today, Yvette Morales from Weslaco High School.
Good morning.
Hello, Mrs. Morales.
Good morning. Good morning.
What will you tell your staff back at Weslaco High School about this new year?
At Weslaco High School this year, we're lit for literacy. We're going to make sure that all our kids have a book and that we integrate reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills to empower our students.
What do you think about the theme?
It's a great theme. We've been working on this with Dr. Canales, community members, stakeholders, our DAC team. We've been working on being more communicating with each other and have a very instructional driven focus for this upcoming school year with the big focus on literacy.
What is your favorite book?
I have several favorite books. I don't read a lot of fiction. I mean, I'll read your Nicholas Sparks, all those books, but I do more fiction books. I like to read a lot of books about how to improve my parenting skills, my leadership skills. One of my favorite books is Greater by Stephen Furnick. And then another one that I also have is a book that we actually did at Weslaco High School, Enjoy the Ride.
Are you lit for literacy?
I am so lit for literacy. Are you lit for literacy? Let's hear it.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Morales.
Thank you.
I really like the theme. WISD is lit for literacy. I love to read. My favorite book is Tears of a Tiger. How about you, Callista?
My favorite book has always been The Hunger Games. Speaking of all of our favorite books, all the excitement in the PAC is just overwhelming at this moment. But right now, we have another guest, the principal of Central Middle School, Pat Munoz. Good morning, Mrs. Munoz.
Good morning, everyone.
So we know you're an avid reader. What are some of your favorite books?
Well, I like a lot of the professional reading books to help me make me a better leader and for my campus and also for our staff to also be better teachers for our students. But one of them that I do like that I like to implement every year is the random acts of kindness, because there's a lot of different ideas of what we can do to be kind to our teachers, our parents, our students, our community. And it's just a book that's uplifting and it just makes us a better person.
That sounds wonderful. So the new school year is always a very exciting time. You as principal, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to the students walking through the doors. I mean, that's always been the exciting thing where we try to make them proud Pumas. And so we're just excited, the staff, all of us together, we're excited to greet our students the first day of school.
Thank you very much, Ms. Munoz.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you guys are ready to win some door prizes. We have many to give away today. But first, let's talk to Elma Cavillo, Director of Library Services. Hello, Mrs. Cavillo.
Hi.
As Director of Library Services, what we told the librarians across all of WISD of what's to come this year?
You know, that's very easy because librarians, you don't have to convince librarians. Librarians are about literacy. That's our profession. And so, Children's Book Week, that's a celebration for reading that happens in mid-May. Teen Read Week, sometime in October. Well, librarians don't wait for those weeks. They celebrate reading books and love reading every day.
That's great. What do you think about the theme?
Well, I love the theme. You know, it's a charge that should be given to us as educators.
As the Director of Library Services, what is your favorite book?
That's really a loaded question. We have a lot of favorite books as librarians, but you know what? I thought today you would let me talk about my latest reads.
Of course.
Okay, I love to read Laura because she sets me straight. She tells me what I don't want to hear. And yet she's not physically right there so I can return the favor. A book vendor recommended this book to me. It's The Healer Within. We're all blessed with our health, and I love to read about health, and he recommended this book. It's about the power that the body has to heal itself. I highly recommend this book. And the latest one that I'm doing is in Spanish. It's called No te enganches, todo pasa. Don't hook yourself on toxic people, gente tóxica, on bad relationships, on gente metiche, people that are nosy, and so on and so forth. I better stop.
Those sound like very interesting books. I probably might read some of them. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, since this is a literacy-themed convocation, we decided to break out some old educational videos to get you thinking about your favorite books.
As your body grows bigger,
your mind must flower.
it's great to learn.
'Cause knowledge is power.
It's Schoolhouse Rocking, the chip off the block of your favorite Schoolhouse Rock.
Ready, Pop? Yep. Ready, son?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Let's go.
1, 2.
Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. Lolly, 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 got some adverbs here. Come on down to Lolly's, get the adverbs here. You're going to need if you write or read or even think about it. Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. Got a lot of lolly jolly adverbs here. Anything you need and we can make it absolutely clear. An adverb is a word
That's all it is, and there's a lot of them.
that modifies a verb.
Sometimes a verb, sometimes.
It modifies an adjective or else another adverb. And so you see that it's positively very, very necessary. Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. Father, son, and lolly selling adverbs here. Got a lot of adverbs and we make it clear. So come to Lolly.
Hello, folks. This is Lolly Sr. saying we have every adverb in the book, so come on down and look.
Hello, folks. Lolly Jr. here. Suppose your house needs painting. How are you going to paint it? That's where the adverb comes in. We can also give you a special intensifier so you can paint it very neatly or rather sloppily.
Oh, hi. Suppose you're going nut gathering. Your buddy wants to know where and when. Use an adverb and tell him.
Get your adverb, use it with an adjective, it says much more. Anything described can be described some more. Anything you'd ever need is in the store. And so you choose very carefully every word you use.
Please sit back, relax, get ready to win some prizes.
And get ready to listen to some great speakers as we kick off this school year.
With the 2017 Convocation.
Little town, it's a quiet village. Every day, like the one before. Little town, full of little people, waking up to say, bonjour, bonjour. got a beanstalk and an ogre.
That's nice. Marie, the baguette, hurry up!
Look, there she goes, that girl is strange, no question. Dazed and distracted, can't you tell?
Never part of any crowd,
'Cause her head's up on some cloud.
But a probably she's a funny girl, that clown.
Bonjour, good day, how is your family? Bonjour,
Good day.
how is your wife?
$106.
That's too expensive. There must be more than this provincial life.
Bo,
Good morning. I've come to return the book I borrowed.
finished already?
Oh, I couldn't put it down. Have you got anything new?
Not since yesterday.
That's all right. I'll borrow this one.
That one? But you read it twice.
Well, it's my favorite. Far off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, a prince in disguise.
If you like it all that much, it's yours.
But sir,
I insist.
well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Look, there she goes, that girl is so peculiar. I wonder if she's feeling well. With a dreamy far off look and her nose stuck in a book. What a puzzle to the rest of us is Belle.
Oh, isn't this amazing? It's my favorite part because you'll see. Here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that it's him till chapter 3.
Now it's no wonder that her name means beauty. Her looks have got no parallel.
But behind that fair facade is rather odd.
Very different from the rest of us. She's nothing like the rest of us. Yes, different from the rest of us is Belle.
How's everybody doing today? Is everybody ready for the 2017 Convocation? All right, how about a little bit more school spirit, little WISD spirit out there? All right, there you go. All right, so how about a big hand for the Central Middle School Puma Theater? Look like Central Middle School is ready to go. We got plenty of prizes. We got plenty of prizes to give away today. So we're going to be playing a game show called Book, Movie, or Both. So I hope you guys have been reading over the summer or watching movies. Either way, you have an opportunity to win some great prizes. At the very end, we're also going to be giving away some prizes, and we also have some dynamic speakers. So sit back, relax, and we'll be here for the next 4 hours. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just a couple of hours. But right now, can everyone please stand as for the presentation of the colors by the Westlaco High School JROTC under the direction of Sergeant First Class Mario Gonzalez. The national anthem will be sung by the Westlaco East Choir under the direction of choir director Jeffrey Figueroa.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the
Outstanding job by the West KWES Choir, and we will hear from them a little bit later on during our show. If everyone can please be seated. And now for the invocation, it'll be led by bilingual and ESL director and Pastor Elias Trevino.
If you'd be so kind to bow your heads, let's pray. Father, we just thank you, Lord God, for this amazing day that you've given us, for the blessing of freedom, the blessing of education, just the blessing of life, Lord. And we just thank you that we are just blessed beyond measure. We thank you that you've given us the opportunity to work for this amazing district led by a wonderful superintendent, amazing school board. We continue to ask you to give them wisdom, intelligence to lead this district, Father God. Everything that you give us, we understand it comes from your throne of glory. It all comes from you. It flows from you. We thank you, Lord, that you allowed us to make it through the summer, and here we are safely. And I thank you, Lord God, that our families are all safe. We ask you, Lord God, to give us the strength, give us the ability, give us the wisdom, give us the intelligence, Lord God. Give us a fire so that we can be able to accomplish great things this year. And Lord God, we will not take any glory in it. It is all for you. And we just thank you, Lord God, that your presence is in this place, not because we are good, but because you are faithful. Where there are 2 or 3 gathered in your name, you are there. So I know that you are here. Father, we ask you that your hand of protection be upon all our staff, all our students, everyone throughout this year, Lord God. And I know that it will be the most amazing year that West KWES has ever had. And we'll be careful to give you the glory and all the honor. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Elias. All right, well, how about a big hand for our red carpet hosts, Calista Robledo and Mario Zavala? We will hear from them a little bit later. They're going to be giving away some prizes with a game show called Book, Movie, or Both, so be ready for that. Now, I know everyone is glad to be back after a long summer vacation, and you guys are ready to get back to work. Well, at least most people are. Let's take a look at this video.
Well, it's here. The end of my summer break is here, and I am officially back to work. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I had a great summer, man. The kids had a lot of fun. I had a really, really good summer. But I'm gonna miss my kiddos so much. I'm gonna miss my kids so much, and I really could have used another week off, but here we are, back to work. It is time to go. I don't want to get out of my car. I don't want to get out of my car. R2, take us back home, R2. Take us back home. I don't really want to. Okay, I'm gonna get down. Here we go. I got my keys, and I'm gonna take baby steps. I'm gonna take baby steps to work. I don't wanna go. I'm gonna walk really slow, Mom, Mom, please, Mom. Oh gosh. Oh, I have to go. There's the door. Oh, there's the door. Oh, Mom, there's me in the door. I don't want to. I didn't. Oh, God, I can't find my key. Mom, my car, Mom. Here we go. Back to work. Oh, have a good day, guys. Have a good day. Mom.
How about a big hand for Charlie Casanova, Memorial Elementary. Stand up, Charlie. And he didn't even know he was going to be part of the program. Be careful what you put on social media. What I tell my kids all the time. All right, so I know everyone is ready to go, but I'm not going to be here for the next couple of hours. We're going to have a couple of student MCs, so I'd like to introduce them right now. Please welcome Clarissa de la Garza and Larissa Garcia.
And I am a senior at Weslaco High School.
Good morning, Weslaco. My name is Larissa Arena Garcia, and I am a junior at Weslaco East High School.
Our theme for this year's convocation is WISD is lit for literacy. Reading and writing are so important to education because being able to read and write at the appropriate level is fundamental to gaining a deeper understanding of the subject matter at hand.
And it is very important to have those strong reading and writing skills, especially when you are speaking in front of a large audience like us, writing essays in the classroom, or when you post on social media. And let's be honest here, how many of us have been corrected by the grammar police? I know I have.
Oh my god, guys. Have you heard of the new Linkin Park CD yet? They're so good now.
You mean they're so good now? You said the wrong there.
Oh no! Why don't you call it grammar police then, douche nozzle?
Yeah, I've been with the grammar police for about 10 years now. Before that, I was in the normal police, and you know, I left because I thought I could do more good to today's youth by teaching them about good grammar. So,
Sergeant Indians, we have a report of bad grammar used on a forum at 323 Birchwood Street.
All right, roger that. Yeah, you gotta be really careful around these kind of people. They're very unpredictable.
What the hell do you want?
You Timmy Blumpkin?
Yeah, so what?
I'm Sergeant A. Noose with the grammar police. I need to have a word with you. Step outside.
Is this some kind of joke? Screw off, douche nozzle.
You think this is some kind of joke, huh?
You please don't got nothing on me.
Oh, I don't have anything on you, do I? I have records showing that you said the wrong there. Hey, look at me. You said the wrong there in a forum. You should have used THEY''RE. It's a contraction for they are. Got it?
I don't have to deal with this. Mom, there's some creep outside.
Oh, there's some tasers tasing you. Better learn your grammar next time. Guys, let's get out of here.
Now it's time for the introduction of the schools as we welcome the principals and their Teacher of the Year. We start with Gonzales Elementary, Principal Rosa Garcia, and Teacher of the Year, Anna Yanes.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Next we have Memorial Elementary, Principal Rhonda Selman, and Teacher of the Year, Caroline Yolanda Rosel Cerda.
Facilitator Carmen Briones, and Teacher of the Year, Kiri Lozano.
Come on down, Sam Houston Elementary with Facilitator Selma Gutierrez and Teacher of the Year, Belinda Mata.
Monica Vanderveer, and Teacher of the Year, Cecilia Aguirre.
Juan Munoz, and Teacher of the Year, Shazadi Almas.
Principal John Garlick and Teacher of the Year, Severino Regalado.
Welcome AEP Horton Principal Roger Pettis and Teacher of the Year, Mark Peterson.
Principal Tina Wells and Teacher of the Year, Jennifer Z. Carrillo.
Let's make some noise for the Wesleyan High School, Principal Yvette Morales and Teacher of the Year, Delana de los Santos.
We'd also like to introduce Elf Academy, Executive Director Janie Peña, and Teacher of the Year, Dolari Hernandez. Let's hear it for the Elf Academy.
Last but not least, let's give a warm welcome to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Priscilla Canales.
Let's hear it. Come on, make some noise.
Introduce our WISD administration. And if you could please hold your round of applause until the end of the introductions, that would be greatly appreciated. Today we have members of the Superintendent's Cabinet. Director of Risk Management and Employee Benefits, Michael De La Rosa. Director of Technology, Carlos Martinez. Director of Human Resources, Melva Segura. Athletic Director, Oscar Riojas. Assistant Superintendent of Business and Finance, Andres Sanchez. Assistant Superintendent of Administration and Support Services, Sergio Garcia. Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education and Leadership, Abel Aguilar. And Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education and Leadership, Sue Peterson. How about a big round of applause for everyone?
Today, we would also like to recognize our school board. We have Trustee Patrick Kennedy, Trustee Dr. Jaime Rodriguez, Trustee Dr. Richard Ivera, Trustee Andrew Gonzalez, Board Secretary Isidoro Nieto, Board Vice President Oscar Caballero, and President Erasmo Lopez. At this time, let's have a warm welcome to our Board President Erasmo Lopez.
Good morning. You know, it's something to be up here. It's an honor
and a privilege to be addressing our teachers, our teachers that are going to make the leaders of tomorrow. You know, you all have a very important task, a very important job ahead of you. And this year is a brand new beginning, a fresh start, you know, and we have all our children that are coming back in a few days. And I know you all are very, very excited about that, right? Right? Well, they're coming. And I'm sure they're just about as excited about getting back to school as everybody else is. You know, and it is a way of life, and it is something that we go through every year, but it is a fresh start. I have prepared a couple of statements and words that I want to share with you all, but I do want to congratulate you for the profession that you all have chosen, for the career path of making and teaching our young children to succeed in life. Very important task, if not the most important job in the world. You know, without our future, we have nothing. And you all are creating it through our kids, through our children. I have a comment or a statement that our past superintendent, one of our past superintendent, Dr. Rivera, said, and he once said that once you treat your students as if they were your very own kids, then they feel wanted, needed, and they will strive to learn and work harder for you. Teach them like they were your very own. And I know some of you teachers are there already, but remember that statement, always. Teach them as if they were your very own. Thank you for being here. Weslaco is the right choice. You know, and I know you're going to hear that over and over again, and we will make it the right choice with your help. It is the right choice, it needs to be the right choice, and it will continue to be the right choice for the rest of our lives. I graduated from here in, there was no air conditioning in this building. There was real nice windows that you would open up and let the breeze go by back in the day. 1978. I remember my first year, 77, I believe, or 76 is when we moved to the new high school, and it looked like a warehouse. It was just empty. There was nothing there. Now it's a home. It is a home to the Panthers. You know, and then Weslaco East came up and Wildcats, you know, and we've done nothing but grow here in Weslaco. You know, and I congratulate all the past board members, all the past superintendents, Dr. Rivera especially. You know, I know that our board has been presented and recognized, but I do want to make one thing, make you all aware of one thing. Everybody here on the board, with the exception of one person, graduated from Weslaco High. And the one that did not graduate from Weslaco High hurried up to get over here as soon as he could. And that would be Dr. Rivera. You know, he graduated from Mercedes, but he's been here for, I believe, 50 years now. And now he's here working for free. You know, just the same as all his board members. But, you know, I just wanted to share a few words with you guys about our kids. First day of school, and they're excited. Even the big ones, they're excited, and they might be thinking about making new friends or something different, but they are excited. You know, I had dinner with my granddaughter, Lily, and this is just last week, and she was sitting with Monica, my honey, and of course, she's a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, so 3 or 4-year-old right in the middle. And she had the phone in her hand, and she got stuck on something. She got stuck. So she turned to Monica, and she's looking up at her eyes, eye contact. And I noticed that. And she was looking directly in her eyes and looking at what explanation Monica would give her about the phone. And you could see the puzzle in her eyes. It was just like she was lost. But once it was explained to her, and she learned what was going on, that puzzle turned to a smile. And you could see the little gleam in her eyes, the appreciation, and the thought, I learned something. And it was just a quick instant that I saw that, but it was very important and I wanted to share that with you guys due to the fact that the kids will all be looking at you constantly. They're measuring you and checking you, and what is she thinking? What is she going to do? And believe it or not, they predict a lot of the things that we do. And just be conscious of that and give them eye contact. That's what they want. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be acknowledged. So do everything you can to connect with your kids, with your students, with other students in the class. Another statement I had made at another speech that I gave was about during your, whenever you have a gathering, be it a show or be it a function outside in the playground, look for the children that aren't connecting. And keep an eye on them. Why? Why are they not connecting? What is going on in their lives? If it's not one of your children, bring them up to the teacher that they belong to. Bring them up to a counselor. I've noticed this child. He's not connecting with anything. We're out here, everybody's having fun, and they're not connecting. And I've been to some classes, some school functions where I will see one, and they're not connecting. And I'm not an educator, never claimed to be, but yet it puzzles me. How could we help this child? How could we help this child to join the group? Everybody wants to be part of something. Everybody wants to be in the crowd. Everybody wants to have their work. Excuse me. Everybody wants to have their say. Yet some are either something's going on in their lives or they need a little bit extra help. And we, as teachers and educators and leaders, need to give that extra help to those kids. Well, I've gotten way off of my speech, so what I was going to say and everything, but I pretty much covered everything. The only one last thing that I haven't talked about is, when I was a little kid, it was about survival was eating, watching TV, maybe Gomer Pyle. Who remembers that one? Nobody, right? Okay, that was back then. Who has Gomer Pyle? Leave It to Beaver, one of the best shows we ever had in the world. And just feeding your face. That was it. Back then, there was no computers, there was no iPads or iPhones or whatever other electronic gadgets are out there. And I know there's a bunch. And survival back then, again, was just eating and watching TV. Now, our kids are on the computer all the time, and their survival is knowing how to operate that electronic item and maneuvering back and forth and getting in, getting out. So in reality, the survival now has come to feeding the mind. Feeding the mind. It's not anymore about feeding your just surviving. It's feeding the mind, and that's where you guys come in. So let's feed those minds. Let's keep them hungry, and keep them excited, and let's have a great year. And y'all want to make some noise or nah? Come on, let's do it. Make some noise. There you go. That side's a lot louder. I don't know why, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys are making enough noise for everybody. So let's keep the excitement going throughout this whole school year. I congratulate you for being here. I am very proud to be up here and saying these few words to you all. And make it a great year. Let's get it going, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. For our next guest speaker, Education has been a part of her life ever since she was a young child, and in fact, her mother was a teacher before she became one herself. You can find her raising money for the Scholarship Foundation, representing our school on the local news, or traveling 4 hours to help our athletic programs. However, most of the time, you can find her helping the WISD staff in order to make WISD an exceptional place for the children of Weslaco. Ladies and gentlemen, our superintendent, Dr. Priscilla Canales.
Wow. Good morning, Weslaco ISD family. Good morning. There's a lot I want to say, and it would probably take a couple of days. And I'm kind of going to move something. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and try to stick to some thoughts I've had, which is very hard for me, because I have one of those brains that sees tangents and wants to go in so many directions. But the very first thing I want to say to you is that Weslaco ISD, from the moment, the very first time I came to interview, felt like home. The very first time, very first event was a Weslaco East High School football game. They were in the homecoming. I went there and I saw a group of people, who am I kidding? Lots of people coming together to support kids. I saw a board of trustees whose questions were all about kids. I saw a cabinet team that I am honored to work with every single day, who always talks about children and what's best for children. So I am honored, I am humbled, and I am happy that I am your superintendent, and I am here to serve. So please know that. I am. So much that when I reflect at the end of the day, because that's what we do when we want to give 100% to children, I have tears in my eyes because of the power that each of you brings every single day to our children. And they are our children. They count on us to have a future of hope. So Weslaco ISD is the place for you, and it's a place for me. So now I want to give you this little fact. Children starting kindergarten today will not retire until, let's say, 2077 to 2082. I don't know about you. I graduated high school in '85, which means I was born in the '60s. I will be long gone. Our jobs are about giving gifts to kids so that they can navigate life for the next 70 years. That's our job. And we can't even predict what's going to happen, what life is going to be like in 2077. But there's one thing we know, that with literacy, the ability to read, the ability to write, the ability to speak, the ability to think critically because of reading, then we are setting them up to be able to have the good life, if that's what they choose. So 2077, my first day of kindergarten, I remember it well. I cried. I was excited to be in this place called school. My mother started teaching that year. I was excited, but I cried. The teacher, from the get-go, her name was Mrs. Carr, made me feel known, made me feel valued, and made me feel inspired. She did. So there was no question in my head whether this place called school was going to be good for me or not. And then I happened to be gifted verbally. My mother says I never be quiet. Used to pay me to be quiet. I picked up reading right away. I understood that the letters represented sounds, and they came together to form syllables and then words. And then those came together to form sentences, and sentences carried meaning, and then there were paragraphs. I could read. But even then at a young age, as I went through first and second, there were some kids that I recognized that struggled. And here's where I want to tell you a story. I was asked, what is your favorite book? I didn't mention it. But my favorite book is Thank You, Mr. Falker. This is my favorite book. It's a true story. And I'm not going to read it, I'm going to retell it to you. So you see the little girl on the cover page, and you don't see it here, with a teacher, rather flamboyantly dressed, but a teacher. The very first picture, it's a little girl. She too is about to enter kindergarten. She has older siblings. She has a family of readers. Her grandfather says, "You're going to go to school, and you're going to learn how to read. And reading is like honey. It's sweet, it's knowledge, it's power." So everybody around her could read. So she was full of hope. I'm going to be a reader. I'm going to be good at school. She gets to school, and the teachers start, teaching everybody to read. So all the students, the Bobbies, the Rebeccas, the Pedros, the Juans, they start reading. But the little girl is struggling. She's wondering what's happening. I can't read. Kids laugh at her when she tries to sound out letters and syllables. So do you think she feels like a winner? Very, very young age. I don't feel like a winner in this place called school. So she goes on through the years, not learning how to read. At one point, her family moves to California. And like all kids, you think that if you're going to move somewhere new, hey, those problems I had are going to be left behind. There's going to be new hope. Maybe in California, I can learn how to read. And you can see how excited she is in the picture. She gets to California, but her reading problems follow her. So she's ridiculed. I mean, they make fun of her, they laugh at her, they even bully her. But she has this great teacher, and the great teacher showcases her talent. She's a wonderful artist. And he tells her, "You are beautiful and you are wonderful, and I see you and I know you and I value you. Patricia, I'm with you." This teacher gives up lots of time and energy, and he works with her on strategies. You see, this little student, Patricia, has what we know as the characteristics of dyslexia. So when she looks at the words in the pages of a book, you know, they're jumping at her. She doesn't see them in the order that they present themselves in Word. But he works with her, and he works with her. And then at last, so there he is working with that picture. Then at last, after months and months of work, the words make sense. And she reads. This is Patricia Polacco's story. She is known around the world for the books that she writes for children. And I'm going to read you the end. She writes in this book, "The rest of the year became an odyssey of discovery and adventure for the little girl. She learned to love school. I know because that little girl was me, Patricia Polacco." She writes that she sees Mr. Falker again 30 years later at a wedding. She walks up to him and she introduces herself. She says, at first, 30 years later, I'm grown up. He had difficulty, placing me. She told him who she was and how he had changed her life so many years ago. He hugs her and he asked her, "What do you do for a living?" And she replies, "Why, Mr. Falker, I make books for children. Thank you, Mr. Falker. Thank you." One person making a difference in the life of a child. So to Mr. Falker and all the Mr. Falkers that we have in the audience, because I know it's every single one of you, thank you what you do every single day for children. If you think about Mr. Falker, there's two things that I'm going to ask of self, of cabinet, of you. Number one, and Mr. Lopez hit on this, I like to say known, valued, and inspired. Let's make sure that every single child, every single student, the ones that are connected and the ones that are disconnected, feel the power of a smile from one of us. Feel the power of a hello from one of us. The eye contact that says, "I see you, you matter." Simple little acts of kindness that every child, I ask you that when you see that child that's sitting in the corner or that group of kids that nobody talks to in the cafeteria, that you go up and say hello and smile. Quick little story. I did that as a high school assistant principal with a group of kids that were known as being as a gang, okay? I did that. Interacted with all kids. I went to that group. They were, they had a reputation, but I went and I said hello and talked to them. I'd like to think that it kept them making good decisions during the school day. But a couple years later, I saw one of them at a restaurant, and he came up to me. And you know what he said? Canales, you're one of the only educators who ever took the time to come talk to us, my little gang, like if we were important. One of the only educators who didn't avoid us. And I want to thank you for that. It was powerful. That's why we do what we do. The other point that I want to stress, these are our beautiful kids. I mean, they capture your heart, I know, day in and day out. The other thing is, I want you to do is just express a love for literacy. Express a love for literacy. We know it's important. I have a father who struggled with the English language, who reads today, but reads slowly, who talks about how that held him back from doing more and being more. Wesico reads, Wesico succeeds. America reads, America succeeds. And here's what reading does. Reading, like Patricia Polacco's story, touches your heart, brings out the humanity in all of us. But it also brings stimulation of thought, of critical thinking. So as you look at the greats who read, I want to talk about something that I learned this summer. This summer I said, I'm going to read a lot more science, just science. I'm going to start reading science. So I'm reading a book, and I learned about a man named Faraday, okay? Of all, there's lots of great scientists. So Faraday had this theory about electromagnetism. He had this theory about it. And in his theory, he couldn't put the math to it. A couple years later, this man named Maxwell reads. He was a man of leisure, I guess, because he was able to read for 9 years. For 9 years, he read the great works of scientists through the years. For 9 years, he read. It was that reading that allowed him to come up with the mathematical formulas that today makes all the technologies we have possible. 9 years of reading, stimulation of thought, ideas of other. Because reading and writing, they're the gifts from the ages for the ages. And that's really important. It stimulates thought. Really important, because we need critical thinking. So please, talk among each other and to kids about your love of reading, whatever it is. Whether it's sports, whether it's fiction, whether it's children's stories, science, business, medicine, talk about it and encourage our kids to read. Our data shows that we have about 68% of kids in 1st through 5th grade reading on grade level. That's good. It can be better. Our data also shows that we have about 63% of secondary students who take an English STAR or STAR EOC exam approaching grade level. It's good. But if we embrace literacy and have excitement for literacy, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Last comments. Somebody asked me, Dr. Niles, what would you like to see? There's so much I'd like to see. But there's one thing that I'm going to share with you. When we have a graduate from any one of our high schools, in college, people who accept students into college, the admission office is looking at the paperwork and sees Wesico ISD on there, that they think that's gold. Accept that student. When employees are looking to hire and they see Wesco ISD graduate, that's gold. Hire that employee. When people or businesses are thinking about relocating to the RGV, the Rio Grande Valley area, they say Wesco. Their diplomas are gold. Every single one of our kids feeling known, valued, inspired, and confident to go after whatever dreams that they have, and to know that when they say, I'm Wesco ISD, people see gold. The last thing I'm going to share with you is that I don't know if you can see this, there it is. We ordered journals, okay? We, the committee, decided to order journals for every single one of you. They will be at your campuses. All I ask you to do is pick up a pen, open the journal, and powerfully write the greatest story that's ever existed for you and the children of Wesco ISD during the 2017-2018 school year. So join me, let's write our story. It's going to be a great year. I am proud to be here. Thank you.
Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world.
Thank you, Dr. Canales. That was a wonderful speech. I know myself, as everyone here is ready for this upcoming school year with you.
One of the reasons for this year's convocation is to kick off the new year, but we also want to take a look at some of the best year. Here is a look at the 2016-2017 school year.
And then Y over X, you flip that.
It was another brilliant school year in 2016-2017. Students made Wesco ISD proud with outstanding achievements and broke down some barriers.
We'd like to now introduce to you the new Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Priscilla Canales.
We begin with the hiring of Dr. Priscilla Canales as new Superintendent of Schools. Dr. Canales worked diligently to connect with the district, students, and community. Her wealth of experience is a tremendous asset for our recognized school district. We look forward to many years of service and dedication with WISD.
We're so proud of you.
One of the biggest highlights takes place at the district's Performing Arts Center.
Waco Independent School District, this is Mission Control Houston.
A packed auditorium full of scholars connect with NASA crew member Peggy Whitson from outer space for a Q&A session.
Why did you choose to be an astronaut?
Some more history takes place when 20 CTE early college students become the first group from Wesco ISD, and it is said in Texas, to receive their Advanced Manufacturer Technology Certificate.
It means a lot to me. Well, a lot to me, my classmates, and everyone.
History, I believe, is about to be made right here. Number 10.
It's up, and it looks good.
Wesco ISD became center of attention in South Texas thanks to Celali Hernandez. On a fall Saturday night in Brownsville, the Wesco East kicker became the first female to participate in a varsity football game. The story received nearly 1 million views in our KWES social media page.
Girls can do what guys can do sometimes, you know, it's just that guys, you know, gotta give them a chance first, and, you know, this is what I'm doing here.
A city tradition which began in the 1970s made a return last football season. After a request by the community, the lighting of the water tower after a Panthers or Wildcats win shined brightly in downtown Wesco.
We got it. Now hold the cable.
In 2016, migrant students from Wesco ISD teamed up with the city of Wesco to build a module rover to address city pipe issues. Last school year, WISD students across the district showcased their leadership skills by hosting a Leader in Me tour.
And I can only speak for the rest of my peers, who I know are excited also.
Our district is chosen to host the event as administrators from across the valley attend a Leader in Me symposium conference with the thought of bringing Leader in Me to their schools.
I am so impressed in what I saw here. The initiative that these students have that are giving us the tours, they own the school, and they don't even realize all the skills that they're learning by being part of this process.
While Wesleco Coalition was aggressive in serving the community, not only did the Wesleco High Club adopt Gibson Park, they did lots of maintenance work to it, including making a beautiful mural for the community to enjoy. One of WISD's most successful moments was when our graduates chose to continue their education and others graduated from post-secondary schools to begin their professional careers. Here are some more accolades we'd like to recognize. Thank you for making Wesleco ISD the right choice.
Wasn't that video just wonderful? I know we don't say it enough, but can we give another round of applause for our wonderful KWES crew for making this video and for always being there at every single event and making Wesleco look even better. Up next, we would like to introduce our next guest. She is an award-winning author. She has spent her whole career writing and telling stories. She has been invited to venues such as the American Library Association, Columbia University, the Smithsonian Institute, TED, and the Kennedy Center. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Carmen Agradidi.
I don't know that I was introduced correctly. She did a beautiful job. However, my name is Carmen Ofelia Agra Pons Mendoza Gonzalez de Didi. It is a pleasure to be with you today, and I say that most genuinely. It's the sort of thing one says when one walks up to a podium. Yes? See? However, sometimes it's most sincere. I've been back here for about an hour, and I've been watching, as everyone else has, differently from you, from behind, missing some things, seeing the backs of other things, but it's a different perspective. But I could hear you, and I could see some of you on the screen with your lights, and I don't know who the tipo with the was, but I love you. Where are you? Yeah, compadre. What I heard this morning from the podium, from the audience, is not, it's not a conference or a meeting of a school district. It's a celebration from a community. That's a big difference. You don't have the kinds of children that I just saw up on this board succeed the way they do if you did not have a community, a school, all the way down to the custodians and the teachers, the parents. But I'm not here to tell you how wonderful you are. That was just free. There is no reason in this world why I should be here today speaking to all of you. Certainly not to all of you good people. I came to the United States when I was 3 years old. I came from Havana, Cuba, and I grew up in Decatur, Georgia. They called it Decatur, Georgia. And they didn't speak Spanish in Decatur in 1963, let me just tell you right now, sugar. They didn't even speak English in Decatur in 1963 either. And I will never forget my mother walking me up the steps, the worn, tired granite steps of Oakhurst Elementary School, down the long hallway with black and white checkered linoleum to a door framed in construction paper autumn leaves. Next to it was a tall woman, like an American stick insect. Hair sprayed into a perfect football helmet. It's a mixing of metaphors, but you get an image, don't you? Beautifully upholstered in ochre tweed. She greeted us, "Oh, good morning, Miss Agra. Well, school's about to start. I am so sorry, we are running late. It is the way of our people." She said, "Well, we're glad your little girl's here." And my mother said, "All right, well, let me just say goodbye. Well, it's best if you do it quickly." Mami, tú no me vas a dejar aquí. English. You can't leave me here. You don't even know this woman. My mother looked at my soon-to-be teacher and said, "Let me just talk to her for 1 minute. Venga acá, niña." She yanked me over to the water, the big water fountain, the one that was like ceramic, had a big rust stain down the middle. And she said, "Me oyes? English, mami. Listen to me, fresca. Me oyes? You go in there and you behave yourself. Don't you embarrass me. And don't make the nice lady crazy." Who even knew that was a possibility? And then my mother leaned down, she squeezed my hands, and that's when I realized my mother's hands were as moist as my own. And then she did a military turn and she walked right out of there. My. Hey, baby girl. Ay. Don't you worry, said my new teacher. You're going to love it here. I don't think so. And then she leaned down and she said, "Yes, you will. Now, Miss Carmen, you just have to get used to school." No, wait a minute, lady. My name is Miss Burns. I looked at her. Miss Burns. No, Burns. See, that's the problem right there. Carmen, we have, no, listen. I figured I better straighten this thing out from the get-go. That's a Georgia expression, Texas, okay, the get-go, like right now, ahora mismito. Listen, my name is no Carmen. Ay, por favor. Carmen. It's Carmen. She scrunched up her face, she took a breath. There was no ESL back then. It was sink or swim, and there were a lot of drownings. She leaned down, and I will tell you, this woman put her whole body, she was a good woman, into trying to say my name. But that Spanish name went into her southern mouth, and it was only going to synthesize one way. Carmen. Ay. I looked up. You got hair in your nose. That's enough, Miss Calm. And she took me by the hand and said, let's go. And she frog marched me into first grade. And that was my inauspicious beginning. Oh, it was a little different back then, people. We were in that class about 5 seconds. She said, girls and boys, everyone sat up. I was the only person of color. This is our new student. Remember, I told you about her. Her name is, why don't you tell them, sugar? She had a great learning curve. Thank you very much. Hello? Con las trenzas, you know? Y el vestido del domingo de la iglesia. Con los zapaticos de charol. Que no me los quise poner porque mi mamá me dijo, óyeme, la chancleta. I think you say chancla, same device. So the kids are looking at me, I'm looking at them, you know. And then she says, well, go back, please. Copy what's on the board. Now, this was first grade. There was no kindergarten back in the dark ages when the stones were soft and I was a kid. So they were trying, with some difficulty, some of them, to copy the letters on the board onto some Danelian paper. They had it even back then. She said, follow me, please. And I followed my teacher across the front of the room. Back then, there was a coat closet, but we didn't make that stop. You see, the rest of the children were in little wooden desks in neat rows, a perfect grid pattern, really, this way and that way. When we reached her desk, an ocean of a desk. Beside that desk was a single small desk. Who's gonna sit there? That's for you, sugar. I didn't do nothing. I've been here 5 minutes. I didn't even do nothing. How could she know me so well? She was all of a sudden just filled with consternation herself, and she said, no, 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 and she lowered her voice. No, you didn't do anything. You're going to sit next to me because you might need extra help. Why? Well, because you're new and you, well, because all the other kids get to sit over there. I know that. Because, why? Why I gotta sit over here? And I think you know, you can push a good person too far. And when they blow, they're like Vesuvius. Because you're special. That means I'm stupid. No, we do not use that word. Well, what do we say when somebody says, no, we don't say that word at all? And see, now when I tell this story to fourth graders and third graders, when I get to that part, they're on the floor laughing because they know. They know code, right? She said 2 words. I thought she was cursing. Overton Crooms! I thought they were cuss words. I didn't know it was a child's name. A big boy. I mean, a big boy. This kid had seen first grade more than once. He had tenure. Come here. Overton was on the front row. He sashayed over. Sashaying is a thing. He had dungarees. Those are old overalls. And he had what probably were his brother's or his father's big work boots. He said, yes, ma'am. And now, because I'm in Texas and I love this, I don't have to explain that there are all different kinds of Southern accents. Right? Hasta entre los latinos nosotros sabemos, right? We know that they're all, so there's a Texas Southern, and there's East Texas, and then there's, you know, Austin, Texas, which is sort of not really Texas. And then and then you've got like Alabama Southern, and you've got North Georgia Southern, and you've got Virginia Southern. Well, this boy, he was what we call South Georgia Southern. He talked like that. I don't know if you ever heard that kind of Southern. He's beautiful, I'll tell you. They say, how's your mama and them? They're the kind of people who bring you in and feed you, and if you don't have a place to sleep, oh, that's all right, we'll just move Bubba on over. He can roll right in next to him. He don't kick much. And he'd say things like, oh, Lord, look at them Carruthers, them kids. I swear their family tree don't fork. He didn't even know what that meant, but I loved the things he said, but that was later. That day, I was just to meet Overton Crooms. He took my desk as ordered by our teacher, picked it up. I mean, he was a little baby Hercules. Put it in front of his own desk, and he said, there you go, miss. And then he slid into his desk with an ease that was striking for his girth. I slipped into mine, She nodded at us as if she could tack off one more thing that I was taking care of that morning. And then she turned to the classroom and she started to speak. And you know and I know that just like in Charlie Brown, when we speak too long to children, yo estaba mirando las musarañas, as we say, when I heard, "Hey girl," from behind me. "Turn around." "What?" "Turn around. What's your name? Say it again." "What?" "Say your name again." "Oh, he want Carmen." I heard him go. "Oh yeah? Say your name again." "Overton Crooms." "And you're laughing at me?" "I don't think so." Next words that boy said was, "I like you." And we were interrupted, having a perfectly civil conversation with Miss Carmen, Mr. Overton. "Would you like to share whatever it is that is so fascinating to the two of you with the rest of the class?" Well, Overton, he'd been in first grade 2 or 3 times. He knew to keep his mouth shut. It was my first day of school. And I said, "No, we're doing fine. You go back to doing whatever you was doing." I was airborne. Hello, Superintendent. Up by one elbow, and I mean, I barely touched the ground. Walk, and she walked me outside. And by her front door, I had missed it when we had arrived, was a little tiny wooden chair, like she'd been expecting me all morning. Sit, and you think about what you've done. I didn't even know what I'd done. Besides, if a kid has done something wrong, never tell them to think about it, because they might have just enjoyed it. And then she disappeared. So I sat in that chair, and I was a little scrawny kid. My legs just kind of swung like this. And I had nothing else to do. In my own little corner, it was a song from Cinderella. I'd just seen it with my sister on the television that was this big, and the screen was that big. Black and white. In my own little chair. From inside the classroom, I heard, "No singing." "No humming." Resistance comes in many ways. She was out there, up I went, whoa, and she said, "We're all going outside." And so she tried to get us to make a line, but do we have kindergarten teachers in here? First grade kindergarten teachers? You have some pre-K in here? Anybody? You know they don't know line, right? They make a herd. And we did too. We were no different. Every new crop of human beings, same people. We think the Egyptians were something unusual and exotic, same people. I'll bet they couldn't make a line when they were about 5 years old either. All right, so fortunately they learned this, so we have pyramids, but that's another story. So we go outside, and now we're in the playground. And since we have only adults in here, I can tell you this. This was back in the day, all right? This is 1966. The teacher said, "Y'all go play, don't kill nobody." And they hoped you lived, but they really didn't care that much. Our playground was packed red Georgia clay. It was hard as asphalt, and it'd bust your head open. It's not break your head, it's bust your head open. And it was surrounded by woods, wherein many children would just disappear. I mean, disappear. They'd just go play, and they wouldn't come back. And the teachers, they didn't count heads. They figured if you didn't have the sense to come in, well, then, that wasn't their problem. I know, it almost makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? So the teachers are all standing near the back of the building. Sorry, it was another time. The only way they made it through a day with us, we were feral children, people. These women needed nicotine. Now it's Diet Coke. Same thing. You either drink it or you kill the little darlings. Well, we're off playing, and of course, all the boys go one way and all the girls go one way, and that has not changed ever, and it will never change. You go to cocktail parties, same thing. Now, I'm the new kid. I look funny, I talk funny, and my mother dressed me funny because I'm an immigrant, and it is also what happens to you. So I have on a sweater. I think you should have this image that buttons a cardigan, the buttons down the front. It is lime green. It is under my jumper. My jumper is a Scottish blue plaid, culturally so wrong, and also unattractive, with pleats. I have beige wool stockings because it's September and my mother's from the Caribbean. Te mueres de frío. I could have caught pneumonia in that 72-degree weather. Brown leather sole shoes and la trenzas, you know, the long black braids with the ribbons on the ends. I'm by myself. You know, when you're by yourself, you make friends where you can. Hello, Tree, you are my friend, and I shall call you Tree. I know, you kind of want to laugh, but you feel sorry. Don't feel sorry. I've had a great life. You need a little tragedy in your life, people. You need a little trouble. You need some things to overcome. I didn't know that. And of course, who comes walking over, well, should I say, sashaying? Overton. What you doing hugging that tree? You look like an idiot. I liked him because he was plain spoken. You know, and we Latin people, we like people to say what they mean. I said, it's my friend, his name is Stu. Well, quit doing that. People's gonna laugh at you. They already laughing. Come here. Come here. And he waggled his fingers at me. I walked over. Jess, it's a word. I just love talking to my people. I don't have to explain thinking nothing. Jess, and he said, how come you ain't playing with them girls? And he pointed down to the other end of the playground where the girls were all messing around. And I said, I didn't want to. I wasn't about to tell him they didn't want me. They didn't want you, huh? You got nothing else to do, kid? He scratched the back of his head. And he tugged at what I suppose probably his underpants. He said, I'm going to teach you something. And all them rotten girls is going to want to play with you. Yeah, right. You got pixie dust or something? No, come here. Behind this tree, follow me. Well, I followed him. Right behind the tree. And he said, put your hands up. Well, he didn't know my neighborhood. It's a holdup. No. No. Just put your hands up. And then he explained to me that what he was going to teach me was something he had learned from his big sister. He explained how big. She's all grown. She's in the 3rd grade. Get out. Now pay attention. And don't move your hands. And that sweet boy began to sing in dulcet southern tones. See, my playmate, come out and play with me, and bring your dollies 3. Climb up my apple tree, slide down my rain barrel, it took a while, onto my cellar floor, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore. More. What are you doing? I don't know, man, it just happens when I hear music. It don't go like that, okay? Now just go on, go get him, Tiger. I looked at him and went, "Rrr," and I raced across the playground. I got over there and I taught all those girls how to play. See, my playmate, come out and play with me. And they played with one another. Funny if it weren't so historically true. Hey, I could play with, I taught it to you. Like my music and my food. I wandered back. He said, what happened? I don't know. You don't want to play with them sorry girls anyway. I don't think they're sorry. No, not like, just forget it. Here, you want to go on the monkey bars? Now, it was at that moment that it occurred to me, and I did not ask. Even I, at that tender age, could occasionally have, well, a little restraint. It's when I noticed that no one was playing with him either. So the 2 border dwellers went off to the monkey bars. Monkey, I never heard of this. Ain't you got no monkeys in Cuba? No, we don't got no monkeys. You gotta have a monkey for that? And so it took about 3 minutes to figure this out. No, this is called monkey bars, because well, just watch. And he showed me how you went across the monkey bars. Whoa, Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. I climbed up, I sat down, I grabbed the bar, I swung. Oh, we were having the best time. We never heard the eternal call. Lord, nobody even taught us that yet. How are we supposed to know? Till it was awfully quiet in the playground. Of course, we didn't notice. I mean, there were a few children so lost in the woods, but other than them. And then we heard, as we are playing, I've lost a shoe, I don't care. Mr. Overton, Miss Carmen. I jumped down for that monkey bar. He did too. We looked at each other. Silent acquiescence. Say nothing. Name, rank, serial number. She marched up with, I'll tell you what, that woman was like pure fury, a Valkyrie. Miss Carmen, she went for me first. Did you hear me calling you? I didn't know what to say. And then it occurred to me that I would use something I had seen my mother use to great effect. I don't speak no English. She yanked me by the arm. You better move, little miss. I thought I saw her smile, but I'm not sure. As I walked away, I heard, and you, Mr. Overton, what is your excuse? And that blessed boy said, I don't speak no English neither. And we ended up on 2 little chairs outside that classroom till the end of the day, and the I didn't care much for school in those days. And it didn't get any better for a while, except that I had Overton, and one good friend will do a lot to mitigate life's tougher moments, right? And then we had to learn to read. Well, I already knew how to read. I had learned to read en español, muchas gracias. But Spanish is phonetic. It's like, Latin-based. An A is an A, an N is an N. Okay, the 2 L's were tricky, all right? Yeah. But, and the ñ, the tilde, but it's pretty straightforward. There are no silent letters. There are no diphthongs, which sounds like a bad bathing suit. Onward. And it began with a book. We sat down. I need to see how well you read. I noticed once again I was an island unto myself. There had been 3 tables set aside, and each time a child showed Miss Burns how he or she read, they were designated one of 3 tables, one of 3 reading levels. It was pretty simple at the time. I had a 4th table, all to myself. I'm sitting by myself, and just until I know at what level you read, or if you read at all. I can read. My mama taught me to read. Now, I didn't do it very well, but I could read. I mean, I was 6. She opened up a book. She spread the pages. She said, follow my finger, and I want you to read each word. And I did. Se, hane, rune. It's like kindergarten. We'll wait for the slow ones. Come on, people. She said, no. What did you just read? That says, see, Jane, run. No, lady, no. S-E-E-C. J-A-N-E, hane. R-U-N, run. Oh, good Lord, you're reading in Spanish. Sí. No, this is English. Well, where are Spanish books? I don't know, in Spain, I suppose, or in Peru. Now, I'm teaching you to read English because that's all I know, and it's what we're learning here, and now I need you to pay attention. S-E-E is C, but that don't even make no... Yes, ma'am, Miss Burns. Repeat, C. C. Jane. Honey. Sorry, I do it right. Jane. Run. I don't think either one of us is doing it right. That woman jumped up out of that chair, and all of a sudden, I thought she was going to snap like a brittle twig. She started talking to herself and the Lord all at the same time. And some of the things she said, the Lord should not have been listening to. Finally, she said, this will never work. I'm going to get here. You sit right here. She put me by her desk, and she pulled out an old battered poster that had the Roman alphabet. And she said, well, we're going to forget THs and GHs and silent letters. We're going to start just with simple letters, the ones I knew. And so she taught me phonetics. Just like Miss Phyllis, is that what to call you now? I could read now, but I didn't like it. It wasn't until I was 8. And by now I'm talking a little better. You know, can you tell? Yes? Sí? Say yes. No, caballero, por favor, yes. And my sister leaves me at the library. I had never been to the public library. ¿Por qué me tengo que quedar aquí? Yo quiero ir contigo. You are not coming with me, okay? Every time I take you to ballet class, you do bad things. I know. No, okay, so it's not funny. Every time you do bad stuff, everybody yells at me. I know, it's beautiful. But she wasn't having it, and so she left me at the library. And I'd never been there, not the public library. It was summer. And so she said, I'll be back in a half hour. They have air conditioning. Oh, that was new. So I went inside. It was freezing. And it was kind of dark. And there were shelves to the left and right. Stay with this. These stories are all going to connect. There was a long corridor down the middle, an old wavy wooden floor that had been slapped down, that red Georgia clay I told you about from the playground. And then there was a circulation desk. It wasn't very big. And behind it, a thin woman with a washboard for a chest. Little girl. Ay, Dios mío. Come here, please. Come here now. I'm talking to the one by the door. I am talking to you, little miss. Esta se come los niños. I started to open the door and run. Don't you run out there. You come here. Now, see, when I was a kid and a grown-up called you, it didn't matter what culture they came from or what color their skin was. It did not matter. You came. It was like a law, right? Oh, no. Yes, ma'am. Be still. This is still for me, lady. They didn't have medicine for us back then. They just threw us out there. Hope, worked out for us. I've never seen you in this library before. That's because I never come in here before. My sister, I was pushed. She tried to cogitate, to think, to work this out. Oh, let me guess, I'm a babysitting service. Very well. If you're going to be in here, you'll need a library card. A library card. What is that? You see, in school, I had yet to begin 3rd grade. First graders and second graders did not receive library cards. They didn't trust us with our sticky fingers and snotty noses. What's a library card? Oh! Philistines. Everywhere, Philistines. I don't know no Philistine, but I got a teacher, her name is No, stop! Are you being clever? I don't think so. And this is how it went for about 3 minutes, and then she raised one eyebrow like a suspended apostrophe. She pulled out a card from a desk and said, this is a library card. Now fill it out. Put down your name, your address, your phone number. You're not going to be in here with a library card. Well, I did as she said, and she pulled out a number 2 pencil right out of her hair. I wrote everything down, and she copied it, and then she said, now this is so you can check out a book. Oh, wait a minute. Grown-ups are so sneaky. You got to watch them every minute of the day. No, lady. I don't like no stinking books. To the head librarian. You know that crazy uncle that loves to collect rocks? You don't tell him, oh, I hate rocks. She said, what did you say? I don't remember. I heard you don't like books. And then she cocked her head like the RCA Victor dog. She said, come here. I leaned in. Just a minute. Come closer. Jess, I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to. And that woman, because saints appear in the strangest forms, usually unexpected.
Did you know that from the moment you were born? Come on. I don't know who Como is, but listen to me. From the moment you were, this is important. I don't know where that came from. From the moment you were born, somewhere in this world, there was a book on a shelf looking for you. I don't think so, not for me. Listen to me. It has been waiting for you forever, child. And she swore to me that your book, your very own book, waited all your life. And that the greatest tragedy in this world was when that child and her or his book missed one another. And the greatest glory in this world is when, like two freight trains, they find one another. That's kind of scary, lady. She said, well, don't you want to know? Have you no curiosity whatsoever? Is there not a spark of imagination in you? Are you a lump of clay, or are you a child filled with spirit? I think the other thing. She pointed me to the children's room. I'll make it happen fast. I walked in. It wouldn't have happened if I hadn't seen the murals. You see, the children's room was very small, with 12-foot ceilings and little shelves for small fingers. And all around that room, from the top of the shelf to the ceiling, every inch was painted in the most magnificent paintings on the wall, murals of characters from the books, characters I was yet to learn about. There was Tiki Tiki Tembo, there was La La Crocodile, there were the Boxcar Children, Encyclopedia Brown, Amelia Bedelia. I know. Pokey Little Puppy, Make Way for Ducklings, Madeline. And I walked around. This was back when the government put Americans to work with something called the WPA Project. Before I was born, back in Roosevelt's era. And me, rotten kid that I was completely spellbound. And as I made my way, these two fingers were touching the books. I was looking up at the most extraordinary pictures, and as I saw the children climb in and out of a boxcar, bam, a book fell off the shelf and onto the floor. Scared me half to death. Whoa, you looking for me? Right? I picked up that book, I opened it up. It didn't look very interesting. I found a window seat, a very civilized place, the window seat. I read until my sister came back. When she took the book, ¿Qué es esto? I thought you didn't like to read. Give it back and don't, my precious. Don't touch it. Well, we have to go home, bring it with you. You want me to steal a book? No, it's a library, you can check it out. Go to the lady, Miss Mary Mack. Oh, she's scary. I know. And then my sister walked me out, said, I'll be outside. No me deje. Well, there you are. Hello. You found the book. What? Yes. I would like to take it home. Thank you very much. Let me see it. Feels almost like, do you remember Snow White? Oh, do you see the lovely apple? It's so beautiful. Only it was the reverse. She wanted me to hand it over. Well, for the first time in my small, mostly inconsequential life, I had found something I could not put down. I didn't like books. I was happy to give them away, except for my comic books. You're going to give it back? Just let me see it, please. I gave it to her. I watched her. She turned the pages. She looked at me. How old are you? I'm almost 6 years old. I'm almost 7 years old. No? Yeah, no. You're not almost anything. You're an age and too young for this book. And she put the book on the shelf behind her. Some of you felt that, right? That tug. I'm feeling really ready for that book. I'm the head librarian, and I say you're not. But it was looking for me, just like you said. Her eyes got this big. Are you toying with me, little girl? No, listen, lady. The book, she falls. She was looking for me, just like you said, and if I don't read it, if I don't have that book, what? I will die. And I flung myself on her desk. My career began early. She tapped the top of my head. If you have not yet expired, could you lift your head? She took the book. Against my better judgment, I'm going to let you have this book, but you're to come to me if you have any worries. She kept talking, but I had stopped hearing because she had given me the book now. But she did say I had to check it out, and she explained to me what we were going to do, and it was a time-honored tradition. I know we no longer have it, and I understand the reasons why. I am not a complete Luddite. I understand that technology has come into the world, and much of it is using the I also know when we now check our book, we have a scanner and a barcode, and it goes beep, beep. You don't even need to look at the person. But when I was a kid, a book had a little paper pocket. And the paper pocket had a card. And the card had a record, a roster of names of kids who had checked that book out before you. And I don't know who Alan McPherson was, but whenever I saw that kid's name in a book, it was an unofficial reader's recommendation. And I added with that number 2 pencil my name to that card. She stamped it. I went home. She said, "Thank you for being a patron of the Modern Borough's Public Library." And I read that book every day. I read it underneath my mother's kitchen table with a blanket thrown under it to make a fort. I read it under my own covers with a flashlight. I read it up my favorite tree on one of those big branches on the magnolias where you could lean back and have a Tupperware container filled with Tang, the drink of the astronauts. And I finished that book on my front porch. On that swing, sobbing. I jumped off the swing. I went out my gate. I took a left turn. I went 3 blocks from our house to town center without telling anyone where I was going. Now remember I told you we were feral children. This is a long time ago. I reached the library just as Miss Mary McDonald, as I now knew her name to be at this point, was closing up. Big heavy chain around her neck, filled with keys, Lord knew what to, mysterious places like the microfiche. Miss Mary Mac, Miss Mary Mac! I ran to her and I held up that offending book and I started sobbing all over again. She's dead! And that precious woman turned to me and said, I'll never forget it. Oh no! Charlotte is dead! I know! It should have been Templeton. He was a rat. But, I know, my dear. E.B. White was a sadist and he broke your heart, but you'll never forget him. And I have a better book for you than Charlotte's Web, she said, and she walked me right into the library and she handed me a book. Anne of Green Gables. It's about a smart-mouthed little girl. There we go, I found her again. Sorry. And a cranky old woman. You're going to love her. Because of her, I put my foot on that path to readership. Because of Burns, of course, I learned to even put those letters together. Another teacher would come along we don't have time for today, Miss Jalinda Collins, my English teacher, who when I was nearly failing English, I'm a writer and senior editor and a New York Times best-selling author. I am telling you, I should not be here. When I was nearly failing 9th grade English, I should have been given material that was, let's use an educational term like rubric, dumbed down. Instead, she gave me a little play and a dictionary, and I read Hamlet in one night. And I saw what English could be. Rather than showing me the worst of what something could be, she showed me what it could be in the hands of a master. I have about 3 minutes to wrap up now, and I want to wrap up with this. It takes one person. Everyone in this room, I would bet, I would lay odds, were I a betting woman, which of course I'm not. I'm actually not, but that was funny. But I would bet nearly every single person in this room is here because at some point, a teacher changed your life. So I want you to know this. Jolinda Collins taught me all about Shakespeare, but the beginning of your story is just the end of someone else's. So here it is in about 2 minutes we have now. My father learned to read and he was 14 years old. He was born in 1924 in Florida, Camagüey, Cuba. He died 4 months ago at 93. The most intelligent person I believe I've ever met, who never went to school well, that's not true. He went to school, and here's the story. Less than a week, fewer than 6-7 days, he said. And then he said he liberated himself because the long days and the stinging yardstick were not his cup of café con leche. And so during the Depression in Cuba, at that time, it was 1930 then, my father would go as if he were going to school, and then he would spend the days playing El Rio. He loved the big rocks where he could lie out, como una lagartija, like a lizard. He would chase guinea hens. He would plunder mango groves. He would wait for his erstwhile teacher to walk home and take those little river rocks and pelt the man. And my abuela found out. And so, a woman long defeated by poverty and fertility, she didn't have time for this. She had many children. And he was the baby. You know, the afterthought. Yesterday thought. And she said, ¿Quieres ser un analfabeto? ¿Quieres ser un burro? Do you want to be a burro? Fine, but if you're not going to go to school, you're going to work. And so he went to work on the farm with his brothers and sisters. But he had many brothers and sisters, and él era niño, el nene. The baby had to do almost nothing until he was 14. By then, he was working on the farm. But he said he still loved the freedom of el campo. And there's some of you here who either have lived or have family, fathers or grandfathers or mothers or grandmothers who remember la belleza del campo. El olor, las flores, los pájaros. He had to get bread every morning. It was 2 kilometers to the bakery, 2 kilometers back. He hated it because Antonio, el panadero, was a jerk. He was scatological at his worst and just ill-tempered at his best. And one day, Papi walked in, and he was alone because Papi was late, and Antonio was reading el periódico, the newspaper, and laughing, uncharacteristically happy. And Papi, carefully, neared and said, "What are you laughing at?" And he said, "Look." And he turned the newspaper, and that day, a chance encounter with something called El Príncipe Valiente, Prince Valiant, would change my father's life. Comics. The first comics syndicated from the United States to Havana, from Havana to Camagüey. What do you think? My father said, "I'm sorry, I have to go. I don't have time to read it." And he left. But he said, but that night he couldn't sleep. He had to know what those marvelous pictures meant. There were knights and jousts. He didn't even know what that was. And the next day, he made a deal with Antonio. If I come early in the morning, will you read to me? The muñequitos? Antonio looked at him like, tan sangandongo y no puedes leer. Such a big boy. But he didn't say anything. And they met every day for 3-4 weeks. But like all good stories, something bad has to happen, right? Or we don't have a story. Papi arrived one morning to find smoke billowing out of La Panaderia, the bakery. People standing outside, and Antonio in a blistering fury. He had put out the fire and burned the day's bread during El Machadato, which was our depression, a time of gnawing hunger. He looked outside, he saw Papi, who was nearing the door, the only person who walked towards it. He was coming to help, but he became collateral damage. ¿Y tú qué mira? ¿Tú no ves lo que ha pasado? Do you not see what has happened? I have burned the bread, eh? Do you think I have time to read to you today? And what is wrong with you that you can read? Such a big boy. ¿Tú eres bobo? And my father said, everyone heard. And so he turned on his heel and he ran to El Rio, the river, the place he could always find solace. And he began to weep. And let me tell you, shame in a 14-year-old boy is a dangerous thing. Because shame left unattended turns to rage. He said some hours passed before he stood up with a determined eye, pockets filled with vengeful river rocks. soy su hija. He reached la panaderia, and Antonio had fallen asleep, gently snoring, his chin on his clavicle. Behind him, mixed with the acrid smoke, the smell of fragrant and freshly baked loaves of Cuban bread. Papi said he walked across the bakery, and about 2 or 4 steps in, those boards betrayed him. Antonio's head shut up. He shook the confusion out, and he said, on his feet. He looked at Papi as if no time had passed. And why can't you read? Didn't your mother send you to school? He asked again. Papi was so shocked. He said, she tried, and leave my mother out of it. Tranquilo, tranquilo. The man walked towards me and said, do you want to learn? Not if it's going to turn me into an angry jackass like you. And he was given a choice that day by this most unlikely of teachers. He said, well, hijo, I see 2 paths before you. You don't learn to read, and you will wait all your life for people like me and others to have time to read to you. Or you learn to read, and you are never again at the mercy of another angry jackass. My papi's words would have generational repercussions. Enséñame. Teach me. Tag, you're it. Thank you.
So now, are you guys ready to win some prizes? Yes? Okay. It is now time for the most exciting game show sweeping WISD. It is time to play Book, Movie, or Both. Please welcome back our red carpet hosts, Calista Robledo and Mario Zavala.
How's everyone doing today?
Who's ready to win some prizes?
Lots of prizes to give away. Wow, wasn't that an awesome speech? I loved it, and I'm not even a teacher here. Okay, so this game that we're about to play is really simple. It's called Book, Movie, or Both. What we do is we tell you the title of something, and you tell us if it is a book, if it is a movie, or if it's both. For example, Harry Potter. Which one is that? Well, let's see if you're correct. And you are all correct. So, for the first round, we will be playing for a gift basket sponsored by Westlake Cece's Pizza. Who wants to play? All the way back there. Anyone in the front? Would you like to play, ma'am? Okay, what is your name and where do you work?
Norma Cavazos, Central Middle School.
CMS. Okay, here's the title. Twilight. Book, movie, or both? Let's see. Woo! You are the winner!
Next up, we are playing for a $10 gift card from Chili's, a nice cap from Doggett Freightliner. Who wants to play? You there, sir. What is your name and where do you work?
Jonathan Lopez, Vigars Middle School.
Okay, here's your title. Star Wars. Book, movie, or both?
Both.
Let's find out. I'm sorry, it was just a movie. You still get a consolation prize for your effort.
Okay, now we'll be playing for a $50 gift card from Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. Can you step out? Well, let's see what I'm like, don't look at my cards. Okay, so, ma'am, what is your name and where do you work?
Miriam Zamora, Klecker Hill Elementary.
Here's the title. Oh, the places you will go. Book, movie, or both?
Book. It's a book.
You are a winner!
Next up, we are playing for a $50 gift certificate from Gateway Printing. Who wants to play? Right here. Hello, ma'am. What is your name and where do you work?
Mary Lou Garza Memorial.
Okay, here's your title. The Help. Book, movie, or both? Let's find out. Congratulations.
Okay, now we are playing for a $10 gift card from Starbucks, sponsored by Family Heritage and a cap. Who wants to play? Okay, stand up, please. Whoever, or can you come here? Anyone's welcome if you want to play. Okay, what's your name?
Sandra Lozoya, Sam Houston Elementary.
Okay, here's the title. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Book, movie, or both? Oh, got some differing opinions. Let's find out. She said movie. It was both. But here's a consolation prize.
Next up, we are playing for a $10 Chili's gift card from Family Heritage and a hat. Who wants to play? You there, ma'am? What is your name and where do you work?
Brenda Rodriguez, Huasteco High School.
Okay, this title is a pretty interesting one. What is Breakfast Club? Book, movie, or both? Movie, let's find out. Congratulations, you are a winner.
Now we'll be playing for a power station sponsored by Busy Bristles. Who wants to play? This one? Okay. What's your name, ma'am, and where do you work?
Kelly Zavala, Central Middle School.
Okay, here's the title. Hidden Figures. Book, movie, or both?
Both.
Let's find out. You are a winner!
Next up, we are playing for a $50 Walmart gift card sponsored by the Westlaco East High School Booster Club. Who wants to play? You there, ma'am? Come up. What is your name and where do you work?
My name is Josie Espinosa and I work at Rudy Silva Elementary.
Here's your title. Walter the Farting Dog. Book, movie, or both? Survey says... Congratulations, you are a winner.
Okay, now we'll be playing for a $30 Olive Garden gift card sponsored by Family Heritage. Who wants to play? You, ma'am? Can you come over here? Either one. Whoever's closer. Okay. What's your name, ma'am, and where do you work?
Hi, I'm Gloria Torres and I work with the Special Ed Department.
So, here's the title. Friday Night Lights. Book, movie, or both?
Both.
Let's find out. Woo! And it's also a TV series.
That was our last prize to give away. Sorry. Thanks for playing. Book, movie, or both. Let's send it back to our MCs.
Thank you, Mario and Callista, and congratulations to all our winners. In fact, let's keep the fun going and give away some more prizes.
Claire, do you want to give it a spin?
All right, here we go, here we go. That was fast.
Okay. Hold on. Let's find out what you're winning first.
Thank you. All right, these are some door prizes. To show off your Wesco teen spirit with a jersey for dance time. Let's see.
And the winner is San Juanita Ramirez, Sam Houston Elementary.
You want to give it a spin?
Yes. Okay. Let me see. Okay. This prize is Tio Roberto's assortment of jellies and jam.
This goes to Jeanette Salinas, library aide. Up next, we have a spa basket from Amri Soap Company.
This goes to Rhonda Cantu from Kleckler Held Elementary. Next, we are giving away a $50 Visa gift card from our Mayor David Suarez.
This goes to Sharon Jackson. Up next, we have a $250 e-gift certificate toward athletic apparel catalog from BSN Sports.
The winner is Michelle Lopez from Kleckler Held Elementary. Now we have a $50 gift certificate from A Cut Above.
And the winner is Ruben Perez. Up next, we have a Arctic tumbler from Central Plumbing and Electric Supply.
The winner is Jacqueline Zapata from Gonzalez. Next, we have a Nautica Beach umbrella from State Farm, Julian Garza agent.
And the winner is Israel Coelho. I might have pronounced that wrong. I apologize for that. A painter assistant. Up next, we have a $75 Visa gift card from Clear Touch Interactive Panels.
The winner is Natalie Llanos. Oh, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Llanos from Sam Houston Elementary. Next, we have an AM Session Chocolate Factory gift basket.
And the winner is Minerva Vasquez from Wesco High School. Up next, we have a $50 gift card for either Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, courtesy of our Superintendent, Dr. Canales.
The winner is Maria Hernandez, a cafe worker at Rico. Next, we are giving away an Echo Dot with the book bag supplies from Waterford.
And the winner is Maria Vela, a cook at Wesco High School. Up next, we have a $25 Chocolate Factory gift card.
The winner is Isabel Rosas from B. Garza Middle School. Our next prize is a $25 gift card from the Jones Law Firm.
And the winner is Maria Moreno from Rudy Silva Elementary. Our next prize is a $75 Visa gift card from Clear Touch Interactive Panels.
The winner is Liliana Esperada, a teacher from B. Garza Middle School. Next, we have a $50 gift card to Storybrooke Garden.
And the winner is Ayla Perez from Kleckler Held Elementary. Our next prize a $25 Walmart gift card from ACDC Signs.
The winner is Jose Reyes, Maintenance and Capital Projects. The next gift is a gourmet popcorn gift basket.
And the winner is Eloy Gonzalez from Wesco High School. Up next, we have a $25 Luby's gift card from Jones, Gilligan, Key, and Lozano Law Firm.
The winner is Delilah Perez, kitchen clerk at airport. Next, we have a $25 Starbucks gift card from the Assistant Superintendent, Sergio Garcia.
And the winner is Christine Wells from South Palm Gardens High School. And our last door prize for this year's convocation is an HD TV from our friends at Quiera Funeral Home.
The winner is Rolando Dominguez, Education Diagnostics Central Office. Congratulations to all our winners, but don't worry if you didn't win. Tonight we are giving out, everyone is receiving a journal from the school district, like Dr. Canales said earlier, with the logo WISD is Lit for Literacy on it.
Now, before we leave you and call this a day, we want to bring back the Wesco East Choir as they sing Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Let's give them a round of applause. Yes, thank you.
Just beginning, pens in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Let yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the ones that you cannot find. Reaching for something.
Everybody on your feet now. Let's hear it.
You can almost taste it.
On your feet. Let's hear it for the West KWES Choir, the Panther Corps, the Wildcat Regiment, the Tree Mets, the Starlets from West KWES, the West High School cheerleaders, the West KWES cheerleaders. How about a big hand on your feet, everybody? Come on, make some noise for your school. WISD, the right choice.
Something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition. I am on
Thank you very much for making WISD the right choice. Have a good morning, everybody.